more relevantly for your interest, viewers, we have... So, Heidi, Lucia, Vega, Propeller Knight, Bang, Waldstein, and May. Or, sorry. Not Waldstein. Oh, they both have Vega. I didn't notice that. Okay. Makes sense. This is the pool of mirror, or the pool of reflections, after all. So, high chance of mirrors being represented in the matchups. Kind of the theme of the pool. Alright. Petersonian selection ready? Poiman with Belcor, Setting Serena, Vega, Enchantress, Arcanine, Yuzuriha, Nagiriki. Notably, the format encourages winning with diverse characters. So let me see who these people played in the first rounds. Oh, never mind. Okay, now it's Petersonian's Vega, so we get to see 2 Vega games. Vega versus Enchantress. Nice. I like Vega. I approve. Yeah, so Petersonian has already won with May and Heidi. Now has also won with Waldstein. Yeah, okay. Yeah, trying to rack up a win with each character. The ideal is to win... Well, the ideal is to win all your games, but in particular, the ideal is to win with each different character on your team at least once. And Petersonian's actually kind of racking them up. This is going to be his... That was his 3rd consecutive win, rather. Alright. Now trying to get another different character. Alright, so Poiman Enchantress, noted resource-oriented character, tends to kind of have free resources. At the end of her turn, or during cleanup, which is the step at the end of a strike, if her hand is empty, she draws until she has 6 cards in hand. So she can reload by emptying her hand. So it's pretty hard to run her out of resources. She can move around a lot. Because, you can just take the walk action to empty your hand most of the time. Vega, as noted, generally a pretty resource-starved character, but has really dumb power, has pretty good movement himself. And Enchantress's card shapes are just not all that impressive relative to Vega's. However, she is pretty fast and pretty long range, so she actually might be able to compete with Vega at range until he gets his Exceed mode online, or basically has a boost in play, right? Like a Defends goes a long way toward just ignoring all of her attacks because she doesn't have much power. Well, yeah, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4. Yeah, lots of range though. Homing Orb, always the very amusing opening turn threat because if you've got a Homing Orb in hand, it hits at range 4. And if you are a second player, then you can EX it. Oh, well, this is not Homing. Yeah.
Apologies. We need a ruling clarification in the other game currently being streamed.
Oh, okay. Cool. What's the question? Yeah.
The Hilda uses... one sec, I gotta tell him I'm getting a ruling clarification.
Okay.
Okay. Hilda uses frontside ability. Strike, your normal attacks have +1 range, or -1 power.
Understood.
Strikes with Impalement. Gauge includes cross focus, hits at range 3.
Impalement, cross, focus, so +4 power?
Yeah. The question is, does Impalement gain the power?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'll double check.
All right, thank you very much.
If it's not in the FAQ, I'll see to it, but yeah.
Okay.
Thanks. So usually I don't allow myself to make rulings when I've been awake for less than 2 hours, but I think I have to risk it because
that's fine.
Ongoing. Oh, you're still in voice. Oops. So that was supposed to be an aside. No, sorry. Let me see. Hilda.
All right.
It's not...
I will duck back to the other channel.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, back in this game. Okay, that looked like an EX dive into a block, which discarded 1 for +2 armor. Now playing Assault at range 1. That's kind of funny. So the sweep doesn't get to rip any cards out of Enchantress's hand. In fact, Enchantress is going to draw 6 cards because she has no cards left, right? I'm not sure what this... Oh! Will made real. Discard, then strike. Yeah. Enchantress sculpting her hand, curating, carefully manipulating how many cards she has. Okay. Alright, Vega with a critical pounce at range 1, makes sense. Yeah, that's going to work out pretty well for him. He takes 1 and hits for 5, closes 2, rips a card out of Enchantress's hand, although again, how much that hurts Enchantress is unclear. Alright. So what's our, let's say, 6 plus 5. Yes, I agree with this math. And then 1 plus 2 plus 4. Yes, that's 7. Yep, everything looks good. Alright. Knocked a homing orb out of hands. That was Enchantress's initiative, I believe. No. Was it? I think Enchantress initiated. I'm actually not sure, though. Well, I'll trust the players to know. Okay, yeah, it looks like Enchantress initiated because Vega is boosting Mask. +1 power, +1 armor. Clean up if not stun, you may spin a force to sustain this. A little bit of extra stats. Doesn't change a lot of interactions at this range. That I can think of, you know. Who can say? Players might know. Oh, well, it might matter with an EX attack. Matters a lot with an EX attack. Pretty much no matter what the EX is. Critical, EX. Oh, okay. Scarlet Terror, not going to stun, however. That is a 5-power Scarlet Terror. But notably, speed 7. With 2 armor, 1 guard. Only going to take 4 damage. It does lose a random card from hand and is going to be stunned. Ooh, loses Pounce. That's a pretty high value special to get rid of. Yep. Alright. Yeah, that discard pile order was all wrong, but also nobody cares because Vega does not interact with his discard pile order, and Enchantress only interacts on her force special, so... yes. Vega now with his turn, because Enchantress initiated boosting defend. Enchantress initiating again. Oh, never mind. Boosting. Aha! Discard 2 cards, which empties her hand, allowing her to draw 6 strength cleanup. Has this hit effect. The opponent must draw or discard cards until they have the same number in hand as you, +1 power per card drawn this way. So, curiously, this might help Vega reload his hands at the cost of his life. Alright, Vega boosting high jump, moving into the corner and taking gauge. Always an excellent play when you can do that. Has the corner, has 3 gauge, has defend in play, doesn't really have a hand. Enchantress might help fix that, but also might kind of murder him in return. Yeah, this could be interesting. So critical attack either like shreds the opponent's hand by discarding things if Enchantress is low on hand, or it helps rebuild their hands, but also burns away their life to do it. All right, we have +2 speed. Enchantress does not draw for end of turn, so that card needs to go back to the deck. Yes. Fortunately, Enchantress has not done anything that would interact with the order of her deck this game, so no big deal, simply to shuffle it back. Yeah, so I mentioned Enchantress drawing a lot, and that's great. Enchantress's drawback, as it were, is that she does not draw at the end of her turn. Like, she still checks hand size, she just doesn't get a card. Alright, Vega exceeding, now threatening pretty overwhelming stats for the rest of the game. Granted, not really during the next strike, right? Enchantress has +2 speed, and Vega has plus armor and guard. Depends on how much power critical attack works out to, honestly. Alright, Enchantress striking. Right now, critical attack appears to only be a +1, maybe +2 power. But it kind of depends what she's playing, because she might actually be playing a force special. Something with, you know, hit effects or sorry, not after effects, hit effects that would manipulate her hand size. Let's see what we get. Vega wild swings, decides not to give her extra power for free. Is this just Spike? It is just Spike. Well, Spike works just fine here. Vega's faster, but doesn't hit. Gets to draw 1 card, which means that Spike hits for 6 damage. Shredding through armor and guard, as Spike always does. Alright, Enchantress's boosts go away. Okay, reasonable value. She ensured Vega doesn't get any gauge. Alright, Vega now advancing 8 with Wall Leap. Takes the corner. Without the other Flying Barcelona, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, Rolling Crystal Flash is online. Yeah, we saw 1 boosted. I think just 1 boosted. Oh, Perry probably calling the... Oh. Oh? I wonder if the parry was like the card that hits, and they didn't realize there were 2 of them. Because I saw some like odd hesitation there. Or if the parry was like parry, and Vega just assumed it would be Barcelona, but it was actually Rolling Crystal. Regardless, the players have resolved it. So for the time being, I will assume that that went as intended. It was parry flying Barcelona. Alright. Yeah, so Vega doesn't have his 8 power speed 4 full board attack online right now. Which is weaker than it often is, because it's often 10. Anyway, Vega prepares. Enchantress, with only 3 cards in hand, looking a little scant on resources, which again is deceptive. She could probably just walk forward and then get a fresh hand and be a bit more threatening. Although then again, she would be online. Or actually, no, I think Scarlet Terror is down. Yeah, so she wouldn't be in range of Scarlet Terror. 4 gauge, that's probably an exceed. Yep. Yeah, so when Enchantress exceeds, she combines her hand, deck, discard pile into her deck, and then draws for end of turn. And from now on, she has a different end of turn rule. Oh, that made sense. She had 2 ultras in hand. Anyway, instead of drawing a card at the end of turn, you may instead draw until you have 7. So she will either draw 1 card or draw 7. Hey, look, she drew 7. No one was surprised. There are reasons occasionally to only draw 1, but usually you wouldn't want to draw to 1 card. You would want to draw, like, to a specified number, for example, so that Homing Orb was online. Though right now it is online because they're at range 6. Alright. Notably, she does not draw at the end of strikes anymore, like she doesn't have the cleanup property. Alright, Vega at range 6. In a relatively dominant position as long as there's a Rolling Crystal Flash alive. I don't actually remember if that's the case. Huh? Oh, I guess Vega prepared. I must have missed it. Or... No, yeah. I think that's the only thing he could have done, because that's in discard. Alright, Enchantress running into range 4. Alright, now at least it's threatening a magic shot. Flying charge. Oops. Dive. Was already threatening Fire Wave, so it's probably not Fire Wave. Oh, and of course, that effectively gave -2 speed to Rolling Crystal Flash. Uh-oh. This is dangerous. An EX response? So that is a speed 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's going to win the speed tie. Oh no, Enchantress. That is painful. So yeah, she loses the speed tie with that EX magic shot. It's not going to go to gauge. Yeah, okay. Takes 5 damage, 6 power, -1 armor. And loses what was probably her intended range 4 option. So despite being pushed out to range 4, she can't be too happy about that. That's rough. Alright. And Vega now has gauge for critical. So yeah, I think all of Vega's full board options are now gone. But he has gauge, and, you know, might well be reshuffling soon, honestly. And Enchantress is down to 9 life, which, you know, puts her in range of about 1 to 1.5 Vega strikes, considering how much power this guy throws around. Hit effect, the opponent may discard up to 2 cards. If they do not discard 2 cards this way, +3 power. So Enchantress is saying, hey, I'm going to have +3 power in the next strike, or you're going to have no resources the next strike. She must be pretty confident she can hit. Which at range 4, probably means EX dive, EX flying charge, EX fire wave. Probably means an EX is kind of what I'm saying, because if not, I think Vega could outstat her. Oh, well, actually, he's not in the corner. So, maybe not. Kind of expect Vega to strike with cross here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That would put him at range 7. I think that evades everything. Reading. We have a reading. Trying to force Enchantress to strike with a normal with that fresh hand of 7 cards that she's not had much time to curate. And critical. This is probably a Sky High Claw. Is this the reveal? This is the reveal. She is not setting whatever was supposed to be set. Only normals are block, sweep, assault. So this is probably a call for, like, spike or grasp. She does have the Flying charge. I mean, it was grasp, okay. I certainly think this is the Flying charge. Like, I guess pounce is the thing that could go wrong, but I would expect it to be the Sky High punish. Right. I don't think it's a critical bluff. You know, some characters are willing to pay a gauge to telegraph a crit, notably in Bison. Actually, every character is sometimes willing to do that, but Vega is one of the characters who will least often use it for a telegraph because he values the gauge so highly. Right? Resources are very precious. He doesn't get a lot of them for free. Doesn't get very many of them for free at all, actually. All right, players noting the hand. could be a block response. Could be a sweep response. A sweep would be pretty nasty, since I think anything Vega does would trade with it, and she would have a random discard and also a choice discard. Oh, blocks. Okay. It is the Sky High. All right, Sky High getting in, uncontested by the flying charge, 6 power, and Enchantress will not get the benefit of her hit effect. I think that was a pretty clean win for Vega. I think that's going to be a problem for Enchantress. Yeah, she pays force to fully block. That's 2 force. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so she's overpaying to manipulate her hand size, because as Enchantress, there may well be reasons that you actually want to get rid of, unnecessary cards, because it's kind of like taking the change of cards action early, right? Like, you pay extra force and block, and then the next time you take a different action, you'll be drawing up to 7. So your card is being changed. Huh. Amusingly, people are interacting with my stream in a way that I don't know how it works, so I hope you're enjoying whatever is happening. Oh my! Alright, I think that was an initiating sweep at range 1, losing to the dive, which puts Vega in the corner with Gauge. Oh dear. That was a devastating loss for Enchantress. Now, we did see, I believe, Vega lose all his copies of Scarlet Terror earlier. And without 3 gauge, he doesn't have a particularly fast option here. However, he has a pretty overwhelming amount of power on deck. Okay, there we go. Yeah, reshuffling to get those fast tools back. Draws for a turn. Enchantress needs to get out of this situation. Backs up to 4 spaces, which, I have no idea if that's correct. I am pretty confident that drawing 5 cards here is what she wanted to do, right? Like, get a fresh hands with a bunch of tools in it. However, Vega now is threatening a speed 7, power 6. Yeah, there it is. At this range. Oh, and now it's threatening much more than that. Yeah, Claw. So +1 max range, your attacks are critical. He now can hit with Scarlet Terror, which would also be speed 7, power 6. Yeesh. If she does not do something to defuse the situation, he also, if he has this card in hand, might just play Repel Leap, allowing him to strike with a normal with +3 power, +1 speed. Enchantress backs up to range 8. Oh no. Oh no, she's really hoping he didn't draw the Flying Barcelona. And if he didn't, chances are he's going to change cards for it, because yeah, she does not have a range 8 tool. The only way she hits at range 8 is with her 3-gauge Ultra, one of her 3-gauge Ultras, Rapid Beam, her other 3-gauge Ultra if she has 7 cards in hand somehow, or Homing Orb if she somehow has 8 cards in hands. Striking, that's got to be Barcelona. EX, what is this? It is Barcelona, which will dodge? Wait, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it will. If Enchantress spins 0 force, she gets to advance. Yeah, that's a speed 5. Wait. Yeah, she's faster. Speed 5, after advance 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Puts her on this side of the middle. Flying Barcelona only hits a little over half the screen. Doesn't hit. Yeah, doesn't reach. She evaded. Well done, Enchantress. I thought you were signing your death warrant. Alright, yeah, Vega, unsurprisingly paying a force to sustain Claw. Alright. I think I actually knew the flying charge, but I didn't see the play. So, good dodge. Alright, Enchantress now initiating with an EX. Says, alright, Vega's not in the corner, now is my time. Let's see what he does to answer this. Telegraph's like an EX dive, I think. But since EX Magic Shot is, I think, back online, or no, actually, I've lost track. Can't remember what was before and after each shuffle. Yeah, this is risky either way, but Vega hasn't drawn very many cards into that deck, and I believe, if I counted correctly, we know that Flying Barcelona was a card he drew after reshuffle, because I don't think he had it before. I think they were down. So we haven't seen very many cards out of Vega's new deck, if any others. Enchantress EXing from here. Can't be Homing Orb. That's the main thing. Because she has 3 cards in hand, so this wouldn't work. Magic Shot, Fire Wave, can't be Flying Charge, of course, or Dive. Yeah. So those are the options. So yeah, Fire Wave, Magic Shot, Dive. I think if Vega has Claw, he does well against all of those. Doesn't necessarily win the strike. Yeah, Fire Wave would trade, right? Fire Wave would have 3 armor because you validate from hand, and then you have 2 cards left. 5 power. Vega would take 3 and then close and then hit because of Claw. Dealing 2 damage. So notably, if Vega gets pushed in the corner during a strike, his ability doesn't activate, right? It says when you set your attack. So Vega, regardless of what happens during the strike, is not going to have his abilities bonuses. Alright, Petersonian, the Vega player, checking that discard pile. Looking, okay, Enchantress has gone through about half her deck. Is not post-reshuffle, interestingly, because her ability, her Exceed ability, you know, indicates that when she exceeds, she shuffles all her cards back together, gets a so-called free shuffle. So still can maintain her options with some degree of flexibility. But we know EX Flying Charge is down, so I think there's not many options this could be. Oh, and we can see the Vega players tracking. Yeah, okay. There's really not very many options this could be. It's Fire Wave or Dive. Notably, if Vega is sure that it's one of those, then Critical Scarlet Terror actually does the job. Wild Swing, probably looking for that Scarlet Terror. It's blocked. Okay. And it was Fire Wave. Yep. Yeah, so she validates. So it's a force special. Like an Ultra, you need to pay its cost on reveal, but only costs 1 force instead of gauge. Alright, 5 power. And after push 2, which they're resolving a little bit ahead of timing because nothing's going to change it, Vega pays a force to take only 1 damage, and then may pay a force to sustain Claw, but with Vega down to almost no cards in hand, he's got to be feeling the resource pinch. Does sustain it. Okay, pays a gauge. Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, it really... A lot more things are online with Claw, unsurprisingly. Right, he has a decent amount of 1 and 2 with before close 2, between Pounce and Scarlet Terror. There's also the range 1 with close 3, so... Big change cards. Alright, get rid of everything, get a fresh hand. Looking for lethal. Enchantress only has 4 life. If Vega can draw... Well... a Vega-shaped attack, he can probably kill her. Enchantress in all likelihood going to either walk or prepare, and then reload to a 7-card hand size. Trying to get an EX, a block, some sort of shenanigans she can use to outspeed and stun a Vega who is rocking, you know, speed 7 attacks with absurd power. Sorry, it's speed 7 attacks with 6 power, other speed attacks with absurd power. Defend. That's concerning. Yeah, outspeeding Vega now may not be enough. Which was already true if he has Pounce. I wonder, could Enchantress just strike with Cross here, or would she lose the game to Barcelona? I don't actually think that Vega wants to strike with Barcelona again. Like, that would be his remaining copy, if he even has it, which I haven't counted. Oh, okay. Another Destructive Force. She believes that she can survive the next strike. She's willing to let Vega initiate. And he will. Let's see what she has that's going to beat, you know, possibly speed 7, 6 power. Possibly speed 4, 8 power. Possibly speed 4, 9 power. And possibly speed 3, 7 power, but 3 armor and 7 guard. Oh, right. And also speed 7, 6 power. It could, of course, be a block. Right. Vega could be whiffing, trying to bait out a response. EX Focus? Yeah, EX Focus. That makes sense. Yeah. Alright, Vega closes, hits for 6. Enchantress only taking 3. Is not going to get stunned. Is not going to get pushed, because, you know, it's Focus. Opponents cannot move you. and hits back. She has a hit effect. Vega is going to have to choose whether to lose the hand or take a bunch of extra damage. I would actually not be surprised if Vega just let himself take 8 here. The problem is that being at 4 life means Enchantress now on her turn might just be able to initiate and kill him. Things are looking very, very close. I think he will probably try to maintain the life total, because right now he's... Oh, sorry, I said 8. He's an armor, so 7. Okay, no, discards 2 cards. So this is just a 5 power focus. Gonna deal 4 damage, leaving Vega at 8 life. Was stunned. Was stunned. Yeah, that was a 5 power focus. Oh, yeah, and even if he hadn't been stunned, he didn't Bay Force. Alright. Amusingly, we did see a slight tip there, which, because of the forgetting to discard that from play, Enchantress was planning on having it discarded from play one way or another. She was going to boost tech to remove it. Unfortunate hand tip due to the players not recognizing that Claw had actually already left play, but probably won't matter for long. She is boosting critical attack. Yep. Looking for lethal now, so she's going to reload to a hand size of 7. Now, if she hits Vega, she's going to have plus power per card drawn when she hits. Needs to pay the force cost, paid with Rapid Beam. Okay, so she actually is still holding that dive. Vega striking, looking for lethal. He's got a grasp, probably. Does she have any X grasp? Or, well, no. If she plays the X grasp, she just kills him. Okay, no, she only had 1. Yeah, didn't have block or EX grasp, evidently. Alright, yeah. Yeah, initiating on curve is definitely played. With 1 life remaining, Enchantress simply had to outspeed. I'm not sure if the other grasp was available. Didn't go through her deck quite fast enough. Might have been better. Well, I don't know. It was pretty reasonable to play critical attack. See, I was expecting discarding 2 cards from hand instead of just 1. Like, notably, she paid with Rapid Beam, which can generate 2 force, but if she had paid with 2 different cards, she would have drawn 1 more card. I guess she still would have had the Wild Swing for block. Either way. Alright. That's the set. Vega over Enchantress. Whew. Alright. A lot of fun. Gonna close the stream down. Thank you for joining me. Remember to drink water. It's good for you. Stay hydrated. Alright. Till next time.